Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today I'm going to talk to you about 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 12, Pornocchio. I thought that was very interesting, Pornocchio. So anyways, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Everyone, please hit that like button. Thank you to the A1 Day Ones for being here for me. And also, if you don't know, I'm going to let you know that over here I do all the 90-day franchises, the 90 Day Happily Ever After, 90 Day the Other Way, and the 90 Day Fiancé, the original, plus the tell-alls, including and up to Married at First Sight and other videos coming along the way. So stay tuned and don't forget to hit that smash the subscribe button so you don't miss anything and turn on your notifications. So thank you again for watching. All right, so on this episode, we have Loren and Alexi, Kobe and Emily, Gino and Jasmine, Patrick and Thais, Sophie and Rob, Ashley and Manuel, and Angela and Michael. So it's a full lineup for this episode. And I did also hear that they are ready tape the tell-all, so we will have one. Again, normally 90 Day Fiancé tends to do like a 3-part tell-all. So, all right, here we go. So I'm going to start with Loren and Alexi because to me, not a whole lot is happening with this couple. It's just an update that Loren had a mommy makeover. It says that she had it 3 weeks ago. So now she's in the house with her husband, the kids, and Alex's dad who's visiting. And Loren looks like she's moving around pretty good. She's doing dishes and different household chores and watching the kids. Well, as Alex and his dad are looking at the news, there is some political unrest going on over where Alex and his family is from, which is from Israel. And Alex is upset, which, that's understandable because his family's there, his mother's there, and, he can't help but to want to do something. But he can't because, he's not I'm not sure if he's a dual citizen or not, but he's here with his wife who's recovering. Plus his dad is here visiting and, is really pulling at his heartstrings. So Alex calls his mom on FaceTime to see how they're doing. The mom says that they're hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst, but telling them not to worry. They have all the things they need if they have to evacuate. So again, it's kind of a sad story what's going on politically around the world with all the unrest, and this just so happens to fall into it with Loren and Alexi, with the family being in those areas, and there's nothing they can do about it. But again, hope for the best. All right, let's move to Kobe and Emily. So Kobe is taking Emily out to the beach. And also it's supposed to be the day where Emily is going to meet one of Kobe's ex-girlfriends who, honestly, I feel like Emily really should put this to bed because you're married to Kobe. You have 2.5 kids because one is loading with Kobe. So wanting to meet the ex-girlfriend is going to do what? I mean, is it like one of those from like a song back in the day? The song goes, "He's mine, you may have had him once, but I got him all the time." I know I can't sing, but I mean, that's what it's giving. I don't understand what the issue is. But here's the thing with Emily. Because Kobe's friends don't care for her, and one day or a couple of weeks ago when they're at playing handball, and Kobe's friend Valerie told Emily that, Kobe was still seeing somebody, his girlfriend, when he went over to China to model when he met you. So maybe he wasn't really with you the way that you thought he was. All right. Now, Valerie, to me, is already messy because he doesn't like Emily. He doesn't like the American, his vision of women. And in Valerie's words, not mine, he said white women in particular. So he's not even sure why his best friend Kobe is even with Emily. I'm like, Does it matter? This is Kobe's decision to be with Emily. And again, they already have 2 kids who you met, your god kids, by the way, right? And you still trying to get your friend away from Emily. I mean, if that's going to happen, it's going to happen when Kobe's ready, not because you want him to. Well, Kobe has taken Emily to a beach before they meet up with the ex-girlfriend. So Emily could walk in the water, the African Ocean or whatever. And then Kobe is telling Emily, this is the place where, when you have girlfriends or you just lovers or, boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, whatever, and you go up to this area, he goes, this, where you just, be a little lovey-dovey. This is what you do. And so why did Emily say, oh, so did you come up here too? Did you bring your girlfriends? I'm like, Emily, didn't you just hear Kobe tell you this is the spot? Okay. I'm sure a lot of areas, especially like if it's a teenage thing or high school thing, whatever, have a spot, whether it be the movies, the mall, the drive-in, if you live by a beach or whatnot, whatever. Okay. So, and didn't she see the smirk that Kobe had on his face? So clearly, if he's telling you about the spot, he's been to the spot. Okay. Anyway, so after they leave from the beach area, they go over to the picnic side of it. I don't know how far away it is, but they're just automatically sitting at a picnic table. And Emily is saying, so did you even invite her, the ex-girlfriend? Does she even know to come? For real? For real? Isn't that the reason why you came to the beach? You think Kobe really came up here, which honestly, it would have been a good move if Kobe did do that. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come up here, but I didn't call her. Because to be honest, there's nothing to prove. But Kobe said that he did, and they're just waiting for them. And then we see a glimpse of 2 women as Emily turns her head to look. And she's like, is that the girlfriend? And did she bring a friend? I'm like, if that is her and she did bring a friend, and what? Like, what you gonna do? Anyways, moving on from that. All right. Let's roll into Gino and Jasmine. So Gino and Jasmine are on the way to a family reunion. First, they stop to get some food to take the reunion. And Gino says that Jasmine hadn't really talked to him at all since she found out that he hadn't paid for the pageant fees. I mean, Jasmine has bigger fish to fry. Pageant fees, is that the only thing you are worried about being paid for? How about getting that visa paid for, the paperwork together? Okay, because the pageants will already be here, but that visa should be the number one thing that should be on your mind. Well, Jasmine said to Gino after he's like, why aren't you talking to me? At least we should be cordial going to the family reunion. I don't want this to be like a big tension in the room between us. And Jasmine said, you want me to talk to you after you called me crazy? Okay, you called me crazy. So why should I talk to you? And then, you know what? Gino has a point, but at the same time, it's like, Gino, you already go back and forth with Jasmine. You already know what's up. You already know that she doesn't care how your feelings are. She doesn't care if you're mad at her because you always end up apologizing. Well, after they get the food, they get to the park, and I guess it's, Gino described it in confessional as is an annual tradition thing for there to be a band at the park and for them to be singing traditional Italian songs because Gino's background is Italian. But the drummer, okay, was what? His uncle, I can't think of his name right now. And there was 2 ladies singing a song. First of all, the song sounded like it was rock or metal, okay? I'm not saying they don't have rock and metal music in Italy, but didn't sound like an Italian song to me. Okay. And on top of that, the song that the ladies were singing, one of the lyrics was, can you imagine if Gino doesn't have a hat? Can you imagine that? I was like, what is this? The Cat in the Hat elementary book riddle sing karaoke? I don't know, fill in the blank. I was like, this is not Italian music, but if this is what your family likes to do, okay. Because see, at first I thought it was karaoke, but then Gino tried to say something else. I was like, if you say so. Well, as the food is being served and everyone's sitting down, well, before that, I should say, actually, Jasmine is being introduced to other family members of Gino who she hasn't met. She's like, oh my gosh, with me being a former teacher, I should have brought name tags. How am I going to remember the names? Because there's Gino's uncle, Gino's cousins. You got Tony, and you got Tony, or Anthony and Tony. Either way, is a lot of them. A lot of Gino's cousins and uncles named Tony or Anthony, and I could understand where Jasmine would be like, who, Tony, who? Just call everybody Tony, and you're winning. Anyways, as they sit down and talk, and everyone's eating, and some of the family is asking Gino and Jasmine, because they recently got married, how is the marriage going? And Jasmine has this, her face, she looks down and depressed, and she's like, you know what? I'm not even going to sit here and lie. I don't want everyone to think we're doing well when we're not. We have our ups and we have our downs, and right now things aren't doing so good. And so, Gino says, well, we do a lot of arguing about money and pageants and different things like that. So one of the cousins said, so how much are we talking about? And Gino said $1,200. They're like, oh, that's nothing. That's not a lot of money. But again, Gino is not working. So he has to make that point, and so does Jasmine. And just like Jasmine mentioned last week, that, hey, so the family member is talking about maybe you need to go back to work because, if you're going through your savings, 401k, whatever it is, money's running low, and you're going to have to replenish that, not just for pageants or anything else, but for the visa and just for your way of living. But see, Gino thinks that it's okay to take this time off to be with Jasmine so she can acclimate. I think Jasmine is pretty much acclimated. She just is ready for that visa/green card and to spend your cash at other places other than, I don't know, knockoff stores, because, Gino barely has good sheets. Anyways, then Jasmine, again, she's trying not to rock the boat, but she says, they really don't get along. But when she said was, it's like she's really trying to save face for Gino, to be honest. So really the person, I had too many thoughts going at the same time, but really the person that said TMI, as far as I'm concerned, was Gino. He said, well, we argue and carry on. It's not just about the money, it's about everything. We just can't seem to get on the same page. Gino said that, even in the bedroom, there's nothing going on because I can't, because all the back and forth arguing. Jasmine was really reserved. And normally, this is not Jasmine's MO. But in confessional, Jasmine said, if I really told Gino's family what the issue is in the bedroom, I don't want to humiliate him. He wouldn't like that. So anyways, after the reunion was over, well, Gino and Jasmine left the reunion early. When they got back to the house, then another conversation came up. And that conversation came up with Jasmine. This time she called out Gino saying, I don't know why you said all that to your family about me, about the intimacy part. She said, because the real reason is, okay, Pornocchio, that's what you like to do. And that is the reason why you can't differentiate or, do A and B. Like you would rather do your adult things videos, but when it comes to the real deal, it doesn't go through. Card is declined. Okay, so Jasmine is saying to Gino that she feels like he has an addiction, and Gino, of course, says that he doesn't. But I don't know. I think I'm on Jasmine's side for the second week in a row with this, because I don't want to imagine it, but I can imagine. All right, moving to Patrick and Thais. So, excuse me. It's the next morning after John arrives to Brazil. Today, Patrick and Thais and John and the baby are going to go see Patrick's dad at the ranch because they have decided to possibly have Alici's 6-month birthday party family gathering at Patrick's father's ranch. And we also learned that the ranch is 2 hours away. I'm like, for real? From the city? I'm like, you want to have the baby's birthday party 2 hours away, to me, that's inconveniencing everybody else that's in the city. And yes, even though Patrick's dad does live on the ranch, there's nowhere in the middle that people can meet. I don't know. I don't live in Brazil. So when John gets up for the day, Patrick and Thais are on John's back talking about, oh, look at all the dishes you left. And John is like, what dishes? Okay. He goes, all I did was eat the cake. They're like, you ate all the cake? You didn't leave me any? John didn't leave them no cake. There's a quick scene that we saw. John is eating the cake with his hands, didn't leave any dishes. I have never seen anybody besides a baby eat a cake with their hands, but John ate the entire cake. Anyways, but I will say this though. The dishes that they wanted John to wash in the sink, those dishes been there a minute. There's no way that John left all those dirty dishes stacked up and he just got there the night before. Anyways, so they're on their way to the ranch to see if it's okay for the party. And like I said, it's a 2-hour ride. They finally get to the ranch and, well, let me just say this. Let me jump back. Before that, John was saying to Patrick that, you know, he's not a fan of Jose. Because Jose, Patrick's dad, was his stepdad once upon a time. And apparently John felt like he was treated exactly as the stepchild, where the stepchild was like kind of like a Cinderella story, like pushed to the room, you cleaned, you did everything, you only have like a piece of bread and that's it. John even described that Jose would, for example, if he bought you something, be prepared for it to be taken back and sold a little while later because you weren't good enough to have it unless you were Patrick. So when they did make it to the ranch is Patrick's dad and his stepmom, and not even 2 minutes after hello, Jose, Patrick's dad, is showing Patrick what he wants done at the ranch. I'm like, gosh, he just told y'all what he wanted done with the apartment that y'all don't even live in, okay? Because you live in the States that you send money to so he can have rent or whatever. But he's like, oh, I need rocks. Like he needs new landscaping. He needs a new fence. I guess there's horses or whatever behind the fence fixed. And he needs all the trees trimmed and everything. I'm like, for the birthday party? Even John was like, you don't need all this. And Thais was co-signing it too. He's like, what does all this have to do with the party? And so Jose was like, no, it's okay. And Patrick's like, well, I don't mind helping. I'm in your family. So when Jose gave the price, he said 150,000. And I said, okay, so is it 150,000 American or 150,000, whatever the currency is in Brazil? I'm sorry, I don't know that, but whatever the currency is. Either way, it sounds like it's pricey. And what does the landscaping have to do with the part? Just a few rocks in the front to build it up or whatever. I don't know. Well, the thing is about these upgrades to whether it be the ranch or the apartment that they're staying in is that even though Patrick knows that his dad might be, you know, dipping a little bit more in his pocket than normal, Patrick says, it doesn't matter. It's my dad, it's family, and I will help out wherever I can. And I mean, Patrick kind of does need to say no when no needs to be said, but I don't know. He seems like he's a people pleaser. All right. Let's move into Sophie and Rob. So there's a quick scene with Rob at the gym, working out with his friend Tyron, who came in from LA, who's there for work. We saw Tyron at the wedding and even at scenes before when Sophie and Rob last season before they got married. And matter of fact, it was Tyron who told Rob that, hey, I was on this particular dating app and I saw Sophie on there and she looked like she was liking other people and you may want to talk to her. So Tyron has been trying to give Rob some advice along the way, you know, because they've been friends for a long time, I think since high school, whatever. And so when Rob is telling Tyron about the issues with Sophie moving out, the lack of intimacy, and he feels like they're in a relationship that's not married, but like a toxic boyfriend and girlfriend, and he still wants to have hope that they're going to work it out. All the advice that Tyron gave him in LA, and all the advice he gave Rob at the gym, saying, you have to do what's best for you. Maybe she's got something else going on the side. If it's not working out, have you considered moving back to LA? And, do you think that really this is the right relationship for you? Pretty much telling him, sometimes things don't work out and it's okay to let it go when that time has come. But Rob just like, nah, whatever, man. I just want to see where it goes. And Tyron is like, okay, that's you. Pretty much don't say I didn't tell you so. Now, when we see Sophie's at her friend Kay's house. She is there with her mom. Claire is in town, and Sophie looks like just someone who's been through the ringer. You can tell she's down and out. She does look like she's depressed, but Sophie denies that she is depressed. When her mom is talking to her about what's going on with Rob, Sophie says, well, I just want everyone to love him the way I do and the way that he used to be before, we got married and just, we had all these problems. And then there was a few pictures of Sophie. Matter of fact, Sophie had brown hair and she looked really nice. And it's just the pictures, even though they were nice pictures of their relationship previously before they got married, it's just the point of where they are now that they are married and how things haven't been working out. And again, with things, whether you heard it on social media or not, leading up to it, and hopefully it's not a spoiler alert for anybody, but if so, spoiler alert, Sophie's mom was arrested because Sophie and Rob had got into it a couple weeks before Mother's Day. Sophie's mom, Claire, was making terroristic threats. So Sophie called the police. Sophie's mom was arrested, but later released with charges dropped. So the scenes that we're seeing with Sophie and her mom and Rob, to me, in my opinion, aren't aging well at all. Well, anyways, Claire's trying to give advice to Sophie like she always has been. But there's a thing, and I remember Sophie said this a few episodes ago and on the previous season, that Sophie's mom, Claire, has had substance problems in the past, and Sophie feels like she's always had to take care of her mom. So I think that the advice, even though coming from Claire, that Sophie's really taking it with a grain of salt, or should I say, in one ear and out one other, because Sophie had to really grow up faster and watch her mom, be down and then make her way back up. And I mean, quiet as it kept, mom, I don't know if mom is all the way rehabbing or what, but it seems like something else is going on. Well, also too, while Claire is there, she's saying that, because you could see on her leg that she's got a leg brace on it, and Claire's mom is talking about she got a leg brace because she was in a car accident, and the boyfriend that she just introduced Sophie to at the end of last season, so not that long ago, they'd already broken up. They were in a car accident though. The guy hit like 4 or 5 cars. He didn't have insurance, and just all kind of things was going on in this relationship with Claire's mom and the guy. So maybe, again, with advice that Claire, even though, from a mother's point of view, might be right, that just the way that her lifestyle, Claire's lifestyle is, maybe Sophie's just like, whatever. Now, when we see Sophie talking to production, and as mentioned, her mom said she thought Sophie was depressed. Sophie denied it. When production asked her, are you depressed? How are you feeling about Rob? And do you think will go on forward with your marriage? Sophie gets emotional. She starts crying and leaves the set. So that right there goes to show Sophie is still very young and still, in my opinion, on the immature side, that maybe she's not ready for the marriage part. And even her mom said, I forgot to mention that, is the green card worth all the issues with Rob? Okay, moving to Ashley and Manuel. So Ashley and Manuel are going to a lawyer's office today to talk about the benefits of postnuptial agreement. For Manuel's sake, there's a translator there, which I think is really good. So Ashley doesn't have to translate everything. And you know how Ashley is anyways, when she gets upset about things that she hears from Manuel or whoever, she tends to say what she has to say in English, so Manuel doesn't really know, and storm off. So this way, the translator can say whatever and take a little bit of that stress away from Ashley. So as Ashley is talking to the lawyer, she's talking about her assets and she is willing to protect them at all costs because she worked her butt off to build up her business. When the lawyer asked her what kind of business, she said it was a spiritual business that she has started online. And I'm like, okay, girl, so you got your little something online and she wants to protect it. Now, Manuel is telling the lawyer that he feels like, he doesn't want anything from Ashley. What's yours is yours, what's mine is mine, and all this other stuff. But at the same time, Manuel also says that, he's willing to listen to see what's going on because Ashley doesn't trust him. As long as you know, okay, because it's not a secret and she don't trust you. And does seem like there's something that you hide in, Manuel, but I don't know if it's all about the things that Ashley thinks it is, but hopefully we're going to see or know by the tell-all. Well, anyways, the lawyer says confessional, listen, I'm not here as a psychologist to help your marriage. I'm here to talk to you about your assets, to protect them, and, to let you know the steps to help you. So when he asks Ashley how much debt that she has, Ashley says she has $100,000. When the translator said $100,000, Manuel said, what? Are you loca? Meaning, are you crazy? He looked at the lawyer and said, I don't have to pay for that, do I? Because that's on her. And then Ashley stepped in and said, well, I have 3 degrees, and a lot of this is from student loan debt. I said, 3 degrees in what? Now, if anybody heard what the degrees were in, let me know in the comments because I didn't hear. So she went to school for, I'm assuming, traditional college, earned 3 degrees to turn around and do this online, and you're that much, girl. Anyways, I thought it was funny when Manuel looked at the translator and said, are you translating this correct? Because if looks could kill, that would have been the end of Ashley. So anyways, again, the lawyer said the student debt loan, Manuel wouldn't be responsible because that is Ashley's on its own. And listen, anybody who's ever had a student loan, know someone who has, your kids, whoever, that never goes away unless you pay it off. You cannot file bankruptcy for anything federal. IRS, student loans, if it's federal, that's yours till you pay it off or the creek rises. All right. Anyways, well, after the meeting with the lawyer, I'm surprised it went as well as it did. Ashley didn't get upset. Manuel was just like, I'm not paying no $100,000. I don't know who you think you are. But anyways, they both thanked the lawyers. And yeah. So in my opinion, I think the information that Ashley gave to Manuel as far as the debt's concerned and how much it is, oh yeah, this to me gave Manuel more fuel to get the hell out of Dodge when time comes. That's just me. I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see on that. All right. Finally, Angela and Michael. So it picks back up with Michael coming back from his visa interview, and Angela is upset about the details of the interview. One of them is that Michael told her that he is the one that moved the interview from Nigeria to, I forgot the name, Bajua, something in the Ivory Coast, and it wasn't the embassy. And Angela says that, you know what? This is the reason why you probably don't have the answer right now, because it doesn't matter where you move the interview to. You've already been denied twice. So yeah, the embassy probably think this is shady boots. So she's mad and upset and whatever you want to say at Michael. She takes a cab back to her house. She told Michael, listen, I don't care where you go, but you not coming with me. Do what you need to do. So when Angela gets back to the hotel, she immediately FaceTimes her daughter, Skyla, and she's telling Skyla about all the things that Michael has done, moving the meeting, not telling her, she's his wife. She needs to know everything so they can maneuver together if need be. She said it's been 7 years. She's tired, mentally drained. Now, I get the fact of being mentally drained 7 years, but what Skylar said next, I mean, Skylar has technically said as the years have gone by, okay? And that is, Mama, Michael is probably scamming you. I'm like, probably. More than likely. And the thing is that Angela, she's like, she gets emotional, but her emotions to me, even though they might be genuine, all the cussing, kicking, carrying on, bad language, this, and that, outweighs the emotion. Like, it's hard to get empathy or compassion to see her when the light is probably going off now, thinking or knowing that this is possibly a scam. Angela says, Angela said she doesn't know why Michael would do this to her. Regardless, she needs to know, and she doesn't want to give up, but she does. She loves Michael, she don't. So Skylar's not here for it. She's been telling, again, Angela this for years, and to get over it and move on and just come on home. So anyways, a little later after that phone call, there's a knock on the door. Angela's already in the bed. She's talking about, who is it? Who is it? So when she finally gets up, and does she have a cigarette in her hand? Okay, I know she had one smoking with Skylar. That's fine, but I mean, if she's in the bed, it looked like she had a cigarette in her hand. Anyway, she answers the door. It's Michael. Michael comes in. He's like, please, Angie, I know you're upset, but please, let's talk about it. Let's get past this. Angela says, listen, you're my husband. I'm giving you that. I'm going to allow you to come in here for the night. But that's about it. Go ahead and stay out here, okay, to rest or whatever. But if you have to use the restroom, don't come in here where the restroom is, hanging out the front of the door. I was like, oh, he got to use the bathroom in the front of the house. What's he got to do number 2? Did she? Well, she don't care about that anyway. So anyways, the things people do for a visa, right? Is it just me? Goodness. Anyways, that was the end of the episode. But next week, Patrick and Thais, Patrick, Thais, John, Carlos, Thais' dad, Jose, and Jose's wife are coming together before the party to talk as a little family gathering. And when they get to the family gathering, why does Carlos, Thais' dad, say, talking smack about, Jose probably wants, I don't know, $20,000 for the party from his son. And then John was like, I don't know why. Why would you want that money? Because, it's your son and it's at your house. What do you need extra money for? Anyway, so that means Thais talks to her dad, Carlos, about Jose, because we already know Carlos don't like Patrick either. All right. And then we have Emily and Kobe. So I guess whoever comes up to the table to sit down is one of Kobe's ex-girlfriends. And I hope Emily gives the answer she wants to hear. But even when she does, then what? Like, seriously, then what? So anyways, it's not like Emily and Kobe come back and forth or even live around the way in the neighboring city to come back and forth so Kobe can see what's going on. But what I will say is, though, why Kobe still has the ex-girlfriend's number in his phone, yeah, that's the only thing that I think Emily could get him on. So anyways, Ashley and Manuel. So Manuel asked Ashley for some money. He said, my family needs some money. She said, how much? He said, I don't know, around $300. So now Ashley's pushing back, talking about, your family is my family. And I want to know what they're using the money for. I'm not just going to continue to be the bank of Ashley. So we'll have to see if Manuel gives Ashley an answer. Then we have Ed and Liz. So Liz is coming back to Arkansas with her mom to get the rest of her things. And Liz is more emotional about it, saying, she's not sure how she would feel with the emotions when she goes in the house to get the things and to see Ed. She just doesn't want to get off track. with her emotions. So, but she got her mom there. So I don't know if it's going to go as well as she thinks it might. I'm going to say no. And then we also have Gino and Jasmine. Gino is trying to stand up to Jasmine when Jasmine tells Gino about what a real man is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide and be there for his wife. But then Gino says, well, what a real wife is supposed to do is not be bossy, snappy, and bitchy. I said, ooh, Gino. Oh. All right. Finally, we have Sophie and Rob. So they're out to dinner with Sophie's mom, Claire. And Claire doesn't like Rob. Rob doesn't like Claire. And Claire's got to tell Rob what she doesn't appreciate, how he's treating her daughter. And just, the back and forth, round and round that they always seem to go through. And Sophie is telling her mom, stop. So, it's always a back and forth with them. So anyways, all right, everyone. That's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, leave your comments, please, and share the video. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.